Hello, this is your professor, Dr. Eric Mortensen. I just want to make a few general announcements for this week, especially since you have a revision due. Yeah, I thought the first round of papers was quite good. I liked everybody's midterm reflection, so thank you for sharing. A couple points in terms of the paper coming up. In the past, there's been a couple times where I feel like, I've made comments on people's papers and, they didn't make the changes, didn't make a lot of changes. Just be aware that, this is the revision is meant to be a serious attempt at reworking your paper, right? Sorry. So just be aware that, you need to take this seriously unless you really just nailed it on the first draft and you didn't have hardly any mistakes. A few people had really good papers, fine, but most people had room for improvement. So you should be improving, right? It should be getting better, and you should be putting some time into it. Especially this is true, especially with these larger problems. If you had problems with thesis, organization in your paper, paragraphs weren't matching up with the thesis statement. These kinds of things I made comments on. This is a huge deal. I expect these things get fixed in the next round, and so be aware. This is a serious revision. It's worth 100 points. You need to make sure you spend some time on it and try to get it as best as you can. Yeah. Okay. Now, in terms of these are larger issues, right? But there are also a lot of smaller issues: punctuation, grammar, these kinds of things. An A paper should basically not have many problems, or it should ideally have no problems whatsoever. Now, I realize it's a bit of a high standard, but I do expect you to try to kind of fix these problems, these larger problems, but also these small problems. Uh, Remember, I don't always catch every single one. So if I keep mentioning, oh, you have a problem with your comma usage, just be aware that just because I don't say, there's a problem, there could still be an issue, right? So just be aware of that, that I'm trying to kind of catch all these things. But it's also a way of pointing out, the kind of general problems you're making. So, next time you're using comma, if you're making a lot of comma errors, then, pay attention to commas, right? That's a weak point. So just be aware with the paper, I'm trying to catch everything, but just fixing everything that marks I make might not be enough, right? There might be other things or similar kind of problems you've had in the rest of the paper that I didn't catch, but are still a problem. So do give it some time and do give it some thought during your revision. Now, some other things I was noticing, people didn't always engage the article as well. And remember, this is, the article's there because you're supposed to sort of be citing it, using it, engaging it, talking about it. And it doesn't have to be the entire focus, but it makes sense if you're talking about babies co-sleeping. There's an article I gave you about this. You should engage that, right? So be aware. Um, Also, in terms of APA, I do expect APA to be done correctly, ideally, right? There might be a few problems, but you're citing information, you're referring to an article, you kind of need to have that information. So, and we have that on, that stuff's on Blackboard. So, if you forgot it or missed it or didn't look at it, please take a look at it. Doing APA formatting correctly is an important task you need to get right. And technically, you're plagiarizing if you're not, right? But please make sure you know how to do that. Um, a few random things, titles. I'm still kind of finding myself going, hey, put a title on it. A title is your chance to get the reader's attention and build some interest and give them a sense of where the paper is and what it's about. So don't paper number 2 isn't really that helpful. What does it say? It doesn't really say much. So do try to get a title in there. Double space, these are all on the syllabus. Uh, Finished, polished, final product, that's what we're looking for. A few of you had problems uploading it for some reason to Blackboard. I understand these things kind of can happen, so I get it. But it seemed like with the midterm reflection, everybody got that right. So just whatever you're doing for that, just keep doing for the papers because it's a bit of a hassle for me. Sometimes it doesn't open at all. I download it, it doesn't open at all, or there's nothing there, and that's a serious problem because then I can't read it. But even if it's downloaded and I have to download, I'd rather not download files from a bunch of people, a bunch of computers onto my computer. You can imagine why. But also it knocks me out of Blackboard, and then it just takes longer, and it's easier for me to grade it in Blackboard and have it be contained there. So um, try to do whatever you did for the midterm reflection. That's working. If this isn't an issue for you and I didn't make a note, then don't worry about it. You're doing it right. Okay, well, yeah. Happy holidays. We're as you can tell from the Blackboard, we're halfway done, more than halfway done. So things are going well. I think everyone's doing well. And just we need to kind of step it up because things are going to kind of speed up. There's some work to be done, and holidays are here, so we're going to be busy. So let's try to just make a push towards the end here. I'm looking forward to your drafts, and best of luck. Thanks. Bye bye.